Kira, hi, you are so fast. Cybersect, hi, you're second today. That's crazy. That's crazy. How are you both? How's the day going? It doesn't happen often. You know, I need to mention it when it happens. Makes sense. It seems things are gonna be broken today. Yeah, I'm usually on time. And if I'm not on time, I'm early. But yeah, I'm never late, which I know sounds really, you know. But yeah, I'm always kind of. I think the only time that I was late was because I was in the hospital and I stayed in the hospital for 3 weeks and therefore I couldn't really be on time. Uh, but that's, I can't really do anything about that. I mean, I could, but couldn't. Yeah, no, that happens. Oh, goddamn. It's been weird. It's been like a good 5 days since I last streamed 2 days ago. Uh, it feels so weird. It feels like so much things have happened, and at the same time, nothing has happened. That, uh, yeah, it was a 2.5 day per day thing. Uh, so yeah, that was weird. It was weird. Also, my hair is crazy today. That's not how it's supposed to be. Spline is great. We do love Spline. My website has been made with Spline. Alan, hi, welcome back. Yeah, I mean, oh, I know why. I know why. I can explain. I know why. Basically, on yesterday, I can just say yesterday. Yesterday I had an MRI planned at 5:30 for my brain thing. Don't worry, it's fine. Um, and on the same day, I had a client like kind of schedule a call um, right after my MRI. So I had a bit of a stress thing, so I sent them a message and said, well, I can't really do that because I don't know how the French are going to handle being on time, which they were not. Um, that happened. That kind of derailed everything in my head. And then I did the MRI and they were late by 20 minutes. So I went there 50 minutes before and waited 20 minutes more. So I waited 35 minutes, no reason. And then they did the MRI and it wasn't visible enough. So they had to do the marker thing, like the injection and whatever. I have a bruise now. Uh, and and so they had to redo the MRI a second time with the injection instead of doing it from the first go, which is fine. So that took longer. And then I came back. Later, the call would have been, so that was good that it was rescheduled, but it was rescheduled to this morning. And and I did that, and that created some task for me to do on 2 days' work for that client. And then I almost achieved something yesterday, which is why the title was this. I mean, I did achieve something yesterday, and then I fully broke it. And now I think it's done, but then I just checked it, and now it's broken again. It's it's fine. Anyways, I think I haven't set up this properly. Let me just do that. I mean, not even think. It's just I have not. Um, it's gonna be weird. Don't worry about it. Cool. that. Did you ask them for the photos of your brain? Yes. I mean, it's I don't ask; they give it to me. Um, they give it automatically. The thing is, I can show you. Uh, the usual thing are this size, and yesterday they gave me this, which is twice as big for no fucking reason. So I'm losing pictures. God, uh, but yeah, basically I have like my spinal cords things pictures. We'll see. That's for next month. Uh, yeah, it's a big race. Can you fucking thank you? Appreciate it. But yeah, it was yesterday was spinal cord. The thing is, it was supposed to be a checkup, um, but because we didn't do a spinal check on the first check in Japan, I don't have something to check against. So we see that there is some lesions, things, uh, but yeah, it's fine. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. Everything is okay. Um, so yeah, I have like the CD for each of my MRIs so that my neurologist can take a look at them, obviously, but she kind of likes to have them on paper. Um, so yeah, no, basically the MRI that I did when I came back in May, yeah, in May last year, um, and the one that I did not yesterday, but like last week, the doctor that was there, that's not what we need to do. God damn it. The doctor that was there said that's really good because nothing changed in the 6 months to year thing that happened, um, roughly like the 8 month. Nothing changed. So your brain and your lesions and everything that you have in your brain don't really grow or don't seem to have any activity. So I'm fine. Pretty good. Grace, welcome back. How are you? How's everything? So, appreciate that. Mm. But that happened, and that took a lot of time. But today, I did, I mean, not today, but like yesterday, I did this, which now has, to an extent, it's not really true, but to an extent, it has real-time sync between devices. So if I do this, for example, that K character that is at the top is now with a very specific amount of progress that is set to that character, and my iPad as on my bed is now fetching that data and updating the UI automatically. So it takes like 15 to 30 seconds of delay, but it's a pretty real-time thing that I can do. That's what I did, and then broke, and then did again. And so with all of that messing up everything, that made the time really, really fast and slow at the same time. So yeah, but it happens, and I'm really happy with it, which is really good. Which is the good news. Good news is that it works. Ish. Almost. Like it's really weird. Basically the content that is in the sync, which is right now just limited. As you can see, this sync is currently failed, which is not what we want to see, but I will figure it out. It's just to an extent good. Um to an extent pretty good. I feel like some things are gonna fully break, but it's just yeah, damn. I see. Uh, Good to have logs. Anyways, but that's a good thing. That is a good thing. The sad news, though, that I received today is that someone has decided to, um, uh, like, buy the app by mistake. Decided to buy the app in lifetime access. By mistake. By mistake. I just right. Apparently, they tapped on lifetime without really paying attention, and nothing happened. And they went back to, I think, monthly, and then they tapped on monthly, but the model that popped up was the lifetime. They didn't pay attention. They pressed buy, and they bought the app for $200. And but I had, weirdly enough, something in the code that wasn't working. So now they have an app that they have bought, but nothing is unlocked as expected. Uh, so that's really bad for me. And now I need to figure that out. Um, so we'll see how I can fix that. I'm asking them to provide everything that I can get, but god damn, it's a yeah, it's not great. It's not great. If I can't figure it out, and if I can't like have the sync work, um, eh, well, they're gonna wait a bit more. The thing is, because I'm obviously, as always, not a dev, because I'm running and doing any of my tests in the main branch of Git, and right now the entire build is with the iCloud sync, like real-time sync cross devices, and it's not ready to be sent just yet. And tomorrow I have no time, may have sometimes on Sunday, but yeah, it's really, it's really bad. So we'll see. But at least in my charts of what happened, like payment and all that, it's really good. I have a big ass spike. Like it fucked up my entire metrics for good. The good thing is they could, if they wanted to, I think they could request a refund through the App Store directly, and then just get refunded by Apple. I will probably get like a penalty or something that I need to pay more, which already, like, the app is $213, I think, in the US, and I'm getting 140 out of that, because taxes. So I will probably get less. Like, I would need to pay back maybe the 200 and something. I don't know. We'll see what happens, if it happens, if they do so. But yeah, right now they just told me that they can still use the app, but it's just like the unlimited lives don't work and the unlocked dictionaries don't work either. So that's really sad. And I need to figure it out. But I'm working on this fucking thing for the real-time sync, and I can't do both at the same time. Specifically now that I'm running out of prompt on cursor today, like just before the stream, when they sent me the message, basically 3 prompts later, I had a bit of an issue. So it's bad. Uh, but if that happens, nonetheless, if that happens, if ever they I fix the thing and it works, and um and they remain paid at 200 for lifetime, and they have access to all of the potential latest dictionaries and all that, that $200 that would come in would refund anything that I paid for in AI chats, plus a bit of the not plus, but with the previous paying customers that I have, I'm basically equal zero. Everything is good. Like the Apple subscription of $100, yeah, $90 a year, and the subscription to Cloud and other chats. Overall, since I started working on that, kind of equal. So that's good. If they decide to remain with it. But yeah, it's $90 a year. I mean, it's technically 100, but because I paid in Japan, I got a discount. But yeah, it's not a one-time thing. No, it's not like the Android Play Store, which is like $25 one time. But yeah, there is like so much annoyance about that exclusivity you're building for iOS. You need to pay $100 a year to be able to build new apps and all that. Chris, hi, welcome on in. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's pretty good. It probably brings something really elitist to the App Store and the people that can afford to do so. But also, yeah, if we had someone with a W, we could have a whack right there. That would be great. Great. Can I have SAG? No, I can't. God damn it. Oh, it worked on one time. Bitch. 1 second. The Stream Deck is dead. Again. Makes no sense. I did. But as I said, my website is blind made. Like this at the top, that is made in spline. In no time. I I basically took I said that last time, or basically when I was in Japan and I did this whole website. It took me 3.5 hours to do the whole website with the grids and the content and all that, right? And in the 3.5 hours, 3 hours went into figuring out how to do the fucking spline skull. Because that just, for some reason, it took the most time. But yeah, I have AOI.live, which contains or should contain, and now it's apparently dead. Good. Which contains some of the product that we have, and also embed of the stream. I have AOI Studio, which is my design agency. I have AOI Design, which is my portfolio, and yeah, a lot. I have a lot of domains for no fucking reason. I shouldn't, to be honest. But yeah. Yeah. Cat, welcome back. Well, if it's nice, good. And and good broke. Good broke. Passe. Did I not do that? I feel like I did not do that. Yeah, I didn't press the button. Yeah, if you like it, worth it. 100%. 100%. So, spline. That's what I had in mind. 4 seconds. Um, I don't know where the panel went. That's for sure. I have no clue. Um, like this thing, which is what I'm using, right? Really simple. This thing that I used as well for potentially using in the CAN website right there. Um, that was the plan, but that good job. That whole thing has um, some really simple things, right? It does the on click has progress on each of the characters, and then on scroll, it does that little transition thingy. For some reason, when I'm integrating it inside of uh, Framer, it just doesn't work, and it just renders like this and it doesn't move. I don't understand. I don't care at this point. Um, but yeah. But this overall is a very, very simple thing. It's just right now not really centered, nor is it good. Um, but yeah, that's the was the concept. Um, and if we go back to spline thing to just show you specifically now, you have the generate option, which will use AI to generate shapes and things. And I haven't tried it. I don't want to try it because if I do, I will become like I am with code. But never use Midjourney, no. So still no. And if I just wanted something like, let's use the glass effect because it's pretty useful. And let's say that this has states. That's the usual thing, right? Add a state, which is this is my base state, and my state is gonna be just higher for no fucking reason. Stony high, well, come on. And so now I can just say that I have an event that says on start, I have an action. My action is gonna be, or not on action, sorry, on mouse hover of this thing. We want to have a transition that goes from base state to state, right? That's the usual thing. And then Murmur, hi, welcome back. How are you? How'd you be? And so now, if we start this on hover, it's just going to slide in. And then when it took 6 seconds. And this is one of the easiest bitch that we can have, but it's still there. And with that, I can still rotate things around. I can still hover from other places, right? It's still an option. It really took like 6 seconds. That's the thing. So then if you want to have like more, you just have like more effects, more states, more activities, more things. And that like if I had a state for this one as well that says state here is simply a rotation of 90 degrees. I do like if I do 360, it's gonna kind of work. You know what? I don't really care. On start, we want a transition or we want an animation, and the animation. Oh, no, we want not that. We want a transition. The transition is going to be from rectangle 0. We want the base state to state with linear transition, and we want this to be loop, which will be an infinite loop with no bounce, no reverse, nothing, and it should work. Yeah. So everything works at the same time. This is really fast, to be honest. Nonetheless, same thing. 16 seconds, still done. just because I can't read and the site is really tiny. And I'm tired already. But yeah, like that's the easiest thing. And then let's use this one because I we can do that. It's the last one. Let's add an event on this, which will be not on start, but it will be a follow. And it's just follow the cursor with more or less dampening, um, if we wanted to, but it's just whatever will work. And now that means that this shape is going to follow my cursor through the entire view, wherever I am. And then when I'm not in view, it's just gonna reset it. So I can just play with that. No reason other than I can. You know, same thing, 16 seconds. So Spline is really good. It's not great for materials. It will give you good enough things, like the glass material is debatable. I've seen better. But yeah, it's fine. And then the other materials that they have are okay. But that's I'd say that's the base. That's the base of Spline is really simple. It works in no time. It works in the browser. The thing is, it is a tad processor intensive at times. And rendering intensive. So if your computer is not good enough, I have some issues. So that's the thing. But again, if you go into the community to just check what already exists and you want to use one of these things that already exist, you can. It's free most of the time, and it takes no time. Same thing. Like if you just wanted to have this effect, which is really good, if it loads, because this one is a bit heavy, but it follows the ball, and then the effect on the glass tiles just follow through. And then there is a bit of an effector on the color of the ball based on the location of said ball. But that's the thing that you can use. And it's nice. But yeah, like again, there is like so much things in there that are really good. There is a ton of tutorials if you just want to learn. Going back to what I said, it's okay. It's not the best. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. It has 99% of the content behavior, as in the nav bar is the same, most of the activities are the same, the quiz is the same. The only thing that I don't have just yet is the conjugations of verbs, because that's not for some reason I can't figure it out in Kotlin. I have a version that is really, really tiny, but won't work for questions just yet. At least 1 second. That is one of the things that I do like. Some of the things that I kind of complained about Rive last Monday. I forgot. It's kind of the same on Spline. It works if the tutorials works if you have a bit of an understanding of what 3D is as a starter. If you don't, you might be here and there with a bit of an issue. From the tutorials that are here. The tutorials that are on YouTube directly from their YouTube channel are from the beginning, which are better to kind of take you through understanding how a 3D transform, a 3D model, a 3D thing works. So that's a good thing to know. Yeah, overall, it's really good. You have like a ton of tutorials and things that you can just copy paste if you want to. Line is really good. If you want something similar, do I have it? Have I kept it? I didn't. God damn it. um, there's this one as well, which is pretty interesting. They have more blobs, if that makes any sense to you. But they have more blobs, and the blobs are really nice overall. They are nice blobs. Oh, oh, that's wrong. That is wrong. I see. That is an issue. Uh, so something on the camera, don't worry about it. But yeah, it has a very much different interface compared to Spline. Spline is more closer to Framer, I would say. Like the interface that you have here is mostly Framer X Figma type. Womp is more weird. It's still inspired by, obviously, but it is a tad different. But you can still achieve things that are really impressive. It's just weirder to use. So if you like weird things, that might work as well. If you don't know Framer, that's good. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. But yeah, they create like weird ass things. Like mostly the blobs is where they excel at. So that's something. Let me just do that for a second. I feel like this is supposed to work, but it's not. I see that is not working. Oh, that's why. 1 second. Yeah. If you have a Blender 3 model, both work. I think the best would be Line right this instant for integration. But yeah, other than that, oh, I have chat back. Spline is, to me, simpler to use. Again, the easiest thing that you would have is just integrate Blender as an OBJ or an object folder file thing through 3JS. That would be the easiest thing. It's basically what Spline is doing. Like their export is a 3JS thing. Bones, hi, welcome on in. Welcome back. And that's alone is pretty good. But yeah, I don't like technically they are the same. I'm gonna say that. I'm going to say that. Also, Grizz, you said I also finally switched to Mac. And now you love the crisp font on screens. Yes, this is the bad thing. Going back to some of the things that I have said many times, with designers shouldn't have good screens. We should be using 1080p screens, or at least the lowest level screens that we can have that reflect the target audience that will use the apps that we have. And the devices that are the least powerful possible, but still can run stuff. Because when you work on a Mac, the screen of the Mac is pretty color accurate, pretty sharp, and really good overall compared to other screens that exist. But what you see as a designer is not exactly what the end user will see, unless they are on a Mac. So when you're building like for an app, and I'm building on an iPhone for the iPhone, I'm pretty good. However, I should still kind of use the lowest end of performance instead of having like a Pro Max. That's on me. That's on me. Don't worry about it. But that's the reason why I have like this Android phone, which is not the most powerful, but not the least powerful either. And my almost 10 years old other Android test, because that way I can just check, does it work, does it not work, is it breaking, not breaking, screen density is different, and all of that. But when you are getting used to the screen of a Mac, you after that you can't really go back to something that is worse, and it's really hard to get like a 1080p screen today. I know. And yeah, I mean, we like color accurate screens, but most of the clients that we have usually don't have color accurate screens. And so if you do something good in a color accurate screen, it's going to be pretty okay on other screens, but there are some contrast ratio that don't pass. There are some colors that can't be seen. Like, I think right down on P3 for the color gamuts on the Mac, and therefore if you are in sRGB, you have less vibrancy in the colors. So if I'm building something that is a bit bright but still work with the contrast ratio, it still pass. Maybe if you have a more muted screen, it doesn't pass, and you might not see the text. And I don't know about that because I can't see. That's a thing to take into consideration. Which, by the way, Chris, that brings me back to this thing, which I kind of shared when we talked about it on April 1st, when we talked about 3D rendering. Like, this one is a pretty important or interesting texturing in Blender. The whole post is really good. I like it a lot. But this is what it renders, which is almost as if it was hand drawn, almost. But with a bit of texturing and all that, you really quickly get something. So going back to what I was saying, Blender alone is like, you can learn how to model and do things, but if you don't know how to do texturing and rendering, it's not going to be that good. But as soon as you know how to do these things, any design thing that you're building is just going through the roof. So if Shanjiro wants to learn something, I really encourage textures and materials rather than anything else. Also, having concepts is pretty good. I'm thinking about like most of the crypto website and banking websites since 2021 have had this coin rolling through the screen, through a ribbon, through a valley, through weird shapes, through other things. We never know. It changes every time. Um, but just having the coins being a realistic coin textures makes it better. And you need to learn how to do that in 3JS or in other texturing platforms. So yeah, that's the thing. I'd say that's the thing. Anyways, so that happened. That's most of it for Spline, I think, unless you have more questions here. Please ask, as always. You're welcome to ask. I reply to Patty. 1 second. Mm. Mhm. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Probable. Good. Other than that, I sent that to Kat already. I've been on a wolf diet without really wanting to be on one, but it happens. I've been eating meat meat and meat and some berries the past 2 days. Um, it 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 wasn't planned. I had a chat with the butcher that I went to last week to buy something last week, and they didn't have it, so I went back this week because they said they would have what I was looking for, and they did, and we had a chat, and then for some reason I don't know how it happened. Um, uh, I went out of the door with a 2.6 kilos piece of meat. Um, that that's gonna last me uh, a bit, I think. The today's lunch has been basically 1 kilo of uh, beef and some blueberries, which is a very wolf diet. Not on purpose, not on purpose, but goddamn, is it? It's heavy. It's heavy. It doesn't. It's not good. It's not good for me. That's all I'm saying. Wasn't planning on that, but it's still what happened. Um, Also, Kira, you didn't really explain why you wanted to learn, or not learn, but like take a look at about line. You said, um, you said, I thought a UI designer for some inspiration to make components from. For my website, he uses Spline and Figma. I don't think you need line for your website. Yes, please share the link. I want to see. Um, I want to see. From what I know we have right now, uh, is thank you. Rossonnery, hi, welcome back. How are you? How have you been? Oh shit. Have I seen that? I have not.
You know, like when you like, oh my god, I sound so bad. You know when you like.
Hmm. I don't know if it is made in Spline, but maybe. Maybe. Dapsheet, hi, welcome. How are you? How's the day? Um, I guess that single part is gonna be, yeah. Yeah, that's basically 3JS at the end of the day. They use Wix. What the fuck? Um, but yeah, the mask for Scenery is when people have social anxiety and can't fathom having their face on, God damn it, having their face on the internet, they use a mask. And the main issue with that is people are expecting, people are fantasizing about how they look, what they are, and one day they do a face reveal and they lose 50% of their audience. Mask was everything, and because they just too hot inside, and they can't stand having a mask on in summer, they need to take it off. Yeah, it doesn't work. I guess it works. I think, yeah. I mean, there is plenty of people that have been starting with a mask and uh, like got removed from the internet, not from their own will, uh, just because people were like, "Oh no, you look like shit. That's so sad." What? Again? God damn it. So, yeah, I don't know if it's a bad idea to take them as an inspiration. I think it's pretty good. It's going to be pretty challenging. I don't think you need blind for most of these things. It's mostly for like the pop cycle is a thing. Like these are mostly Figma assets that you just need to have as images that will react through 3D transform. That's pretty simple. But yeah, the pop cycle is something that needs to have uh, something for sure. But other than that, I don't think you do need that. I don't think you need spline. Spline is cool. Again, really cool, really nice, really interesting to learn, but not as necessary. The 3D Canva is just annoying. That makes no sense to me. I mean, the main issue that I have with masked people on the internet is like most of the girls that are masked are the one that are victim of the falling off after the mask, the face reveal thing, just because they don't live up to the hype that people have about them, which is really sad. And there is one that is really common. You may have seen her in the past. Let me see if I can find it. If I click on the right thing, that would be better. These are some titties. That's not what I need to share. I mean, I can, but you know. I have a design question. I bet you can. How do people animate interface on Keynote presentation? I have never used Keynote, so I can't really help. Based on my knowledge of PowerPoints, which is different, they may have similar transitions, as in you may have the ability to do automatic transition from slide A to slide B. But yeah, I don't know. However, I'm using Pitch most of the times when I need to do content in presentations because it is better. Yeah. Better in terms of it is simpler and all that, but eh. On presentation, it's usually like slide change, and it's a transition. Like there is a full French company, which is sad that they are French, but there is a full French company that has been known to recreate the Last Jedi trailer in PowerPoint. uh, I don't think I don't think these are gonna work. But yeah, it's a known French company that just has redone the entirety um of I think this one or the Last Jedi. I forgot. Nonetheless, doesn't really matter. It just exists, so you can do that in PowerPoint. uh, Pitch is a free paid service. It's not really a service. It's just like it's another platform that gives you the ability to do presentation, and they have a free tier as always. Um, that's what I forgot. And so you can use that to create a presentation. Um, I was about to recommend another one, but the other one has died, which is sad. They just like you can't really request a demo, you can't really log in, you can't really do anything anymore. Um, but it was a great it was a great concept. I'm so sad about it. And they had to die. Anyways. um, the easiest also that's Kitsune that has or is a very known masked person, which doesn't have a face reveals yet. And he's banking on eyes, obviously, and other things, but there hasn't been any post without the mask, and we don't know. We don't know what's under there, and that's gonna be the downfall of that person. Um, you know, really. What happened? What happened? We have like a hint. There are pictures. Anyways. The best thing that you can do is going to be Pinterest. I know. Pinterest or Behance are going to give you a lot of information, inspiration, and you can just look for um, presentation template, I guess, to give you ideas of what to do in what type. So that's the number one. If you just need like visual inspiration, you need to know, oh, okay, how can I make that specific slide a bit better? Well, I'm looking at this. It seems that they have some sort of a pitch. They have some sort of a better um, outline, content, layout, all that. So yeah, I think in order for that specific thing that you just said to work, you need to define and provide so much. God damn, that hair is pissing me off. Where's you? Where's you?
Alphaster 1 nanogram is now following.
What do you mean nanogram for string? Alpha string. Hi, welcome on in. Thanks a lot for the follow. How are you? Who are you? How did you find the string? Welcome on in again. So that right template would work. It is good, but if your CEO person needs to do such things, it's gonna be broken. But going back to where I was a second ago, which is pitch, Pitch gives you the ability to go in the pitch deck section into templates, and you have access to the preview of their decks. That's gonna sound kinky. For free. They are free. So if right now you are looking for a business proposal template for something, you will have the ability to access these things. And when you access them, you can see maybe you like this one for some reason, and it presents what it has. It shows you everything. You can see all of the div slides that exist, and that's it. And then you have that as a base. And these are templates. So you just see the templates, and then your CTO, CEO, whatever needs to put the data in there themselves. That could help. The main thing that I have a lot of issue with all the time is that these decks are really good at presenting charts and graphs and other data in a way that makes sense. But you might not have that data in that format. You might not have that timeline that makes sense. Maybe yours was more of a waterfall thing, so it takes just the top and nothing else. Maybe these numbers needs to be bigger. Maybe they are not percentage. That's the issue, right? That's the main problem that you would have with most of these templates, because you can't really present a screen that works. Maybe the background needs to be purple instead of being orange, and therefore it's not going to work, and so on. Nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that if you just need something for inspiration and for you to have like a bit of a content base, use Pitch for the inspiration. It shows you everything, the transition potential when you're hovering like things, and you have the animation. But yeah, for the graphs and charts and tables and all that, this is going to be bound to what your person that put the data in uses. So if they use Excel, sadly, which is probably the case, it's gonna look like shit. And you can't really do that. I don't remember if you can like integrate with Excel and data presentation of all of such. I have. You can do with Google Sheets, which is interesting. Shit, bad. I mean, with Salesforce is going to be pretty good. I mean, I guess based on the tool that you use, you could have like an integration with that. But again, it depends. If it's an external tool, also it's a coming soon thing. Yeah, that's the thing that I don't like. I would rather you have something that makes sense and is plugged with the data that you have on Excel, for example, to generate the things. But yeah. Well, there is one that is called, ah, goddamn. It's a burgundy color, mostly on the purple side. That is an AI tool for Excel. I forgot. But there is one. That's all I'm saying. Maybe on tools? I doubt it. I bet it. We. No. Usually it's in the data visualization software and others, but I need to test this one. Tableau is the one by Salesforce, which means that it is integrated with Salesforce by default. I don't know Flourish, but it doesn't look really good. At least not to me. Bird, I remember that name. It is really French though. That's really sad. I mean, at the end of the day, the charts that you are showcasing, if it's external, it needs to be kind of cute. If it's internal, no one cares because no one look at them anyways during the presentations. So if it looks like this, we're good with that. Yeah, that's really French. That's so sad. That looks so. He looks so French. That's. Anyways. Other than that, I don't think I have much more. There is not much more data and pitch presentation that would make sense. So pitch.com is really good for in-browser multi-cursor edits, so that if you want to have like the design made for you by you inside of pitch, and then your CEO wants to go put data in there while you're doing the slides, they can, and it works together. It's not like oh, here is my keynote presentation file, open it, put the data in it, send it back to me so I can fix some things. That's pretty good. I'd say the integration with Google Sheet on pitch would be pretty good for you to get the data from there and then potentially generate like charts and other things immediately in the deck. But I don't know how it works. That's to be fully transparent. It could work. And it's available on the free plan. God damn, I just clicked on the button to see how it works. And it seems pretty simple. If you have the data in Google Sheets, you can just click on it, and then you should be good. That's how easy it is. That's a nice point. That is a nice point. But yeah, again, like most of the decks and presentation that they have that are in there, they are the same. They are reused across multiple disciplines. So anything in business is probably going to be reused in strategy and proposal and reports and all that. But you can really, really quickly go through these things and say, well, I do like that design. I like the fact that we have a header with the name of the company, and then a header with the date, and then the big ass text, and then a footer, which will be the same on most pages, I guess. And then moving on, I have like the key points of my presentation, and I have like a bitch ass thing in the center that means nothing but will help with understanding what's happening, and so on. Just for inspiration, that's really good. But again, if you look at these two, they are almost the same, and the slides themselves are really boring, and the only thing that makes them good is the background. Like the background makes it interesting to look at because it is flashy and it attracts the eyes and whatever. But that's about it. You know. So I feel like if you remove the background, these are really good potentials. So So maybe you just need that. Maybe you just need to find like a background that works for you for the presentation that you currently have to make them less boring and more entertaining. The transitions are a good option. I'd say indie ground might be a place with textures, just because I love them. Anything that they have in terms of textures or graphics or other um, background element, like these things could be really good just to add something to your presentation, not necessarily use them all the times, but you know, essentially just yeah, it's like creating thingy. Good work. Nonetheless, these are not necessarily free every time, so you can take a look at what is free, what is good, what you like, what you don't like, and so on. But you know, that's what I would say. That's what I would say. If you want that. Again, same thing. Same thing. If you like this, why not? If you don't, why not? At the end of the day, it's the same. The goal of a presentation is to make sure that the content is understood by the people that are looking at the presentation. And so you should have as much or as low of text and content in there. They just are there to support you in your presentation. Or if they are reports and things that are sent to other clients, they need to be as digestible as they can so that people that receive them will say, oh, okay, I do understand the graphics, the charts, the numbers, what happens, the timeline, where we're going, where we're not going, what were the decisions that we made in the past months, and so on. But other than that, yeah, not really help much more. But yeah. Also, Alpha String, you haven't answered my question. How did you find the stream? Walk on in again. Also, Jay did that. Again. This is fully DSS based, as always. It's pretty good. I feel like the radius of the arrows could be a bit bigger so that you can't see like the tail and the thing at the same time. But overall, that's really impressive so far. So from the thing that Denny shared last week, obviously Jay does it the next one because he can, because he knows how to do that. From that, which works the same way. I think that's about it. I really need to get into that though. That is the next step for me, which I don't have the time right now, but these animations. Icon animation is what I need to do. It will come though at some point. Right now, no time. No time. Anyways. Also, Chris, now that I'm looking at this, I feel like to your questions from last week, Monday. I can't figure it out that it was Monday. I think this is better than learning 3D to move a website from good to amazing. Just going through creating micro interactions again and elements that are wowing the users through code. I feel like that's gonna be much easier than doing that through 3D or 3JS or other things. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. But you know. Think I haven't been here for a long time. I'm looking at the likes again for this because obviously today is a review day. It's an holiday, so if you have something to review, please feel free to share a link so we can have a look and give you some feedback on that. But there haven't been so much stuff in here. Like most of the things are really boring. I like this one because it's fun to me that someone today, technically 2 days ago, shared this as a how to do class UI in Sketch, which, well, it's interesting because I don't see content about Sketch anymore ever. So that's weird. That is weird. I feel like the effect that they added on the God damn it, on the mic icon should have been added on the type something text as well. Not on the button, but on the type something because it is a placeholder text. It's not. Sketch is really good. That's the issue that I have with Sketch. It is really good. I like it a lot. I used it for 4 years in a row. And it was really nice. It's just weird nowadays when you go back to it because I do that periodically when I can get like a free trial for, I think it's 30 days or something. I try it again and I see what has been added, what is new, what is not new. And they just announced in the beta section the auto layout that Figma has been adding or have since I moved. Which is weird to me because the reason why I wouldn't want to move to Figma in the first place is because they didn't have auto layout that we had in Sketch. Sketch has, I'm guessing it's still there, something with the plugin by Anima, which was called Anima Auto Layout. That was the name. That gave you basically what Figma Auto Layout is. And it was a plugin, it was not built in. And then I moved to Figma when Figma announced that Auto Layout was about to be added. And plugins were about to be added to Figma. And so I moved there and just took a look. And I stayed in Figma since then. But it's weird that they announced it as if it was a grand thing, but it was already there, at least for me, in my perception. So I don't know. But most of it's really good. They have like a ton of things that just make sense. They have a ton of design details that are just better. But they have like business models that makes no sense. As in, it's Mac only. That already removes so many people from the options. which I mean, I get it, right? It's the same thing as earlier. Like you want the elitist thing again, so it's just the people that can afford to have a Mac. With the new Mac Mini, that's going to be more people, but like as a base, if you don't have 3K to spend on the computer, you are part of most people. And you know, like a Mac is expensive. It is expensive, specifically for Sketch, like because it's a native app and it runs on your machine. It needs to be like it is a bit of resource intensive. So your computer needs to be kind of beefy to make sure that it works. And yeah, they used to have this, which they still do. Um, what they used to have like the side to side, yeah, that thing, which I dunk on every time because it's fun to do so. But they say that they have real time collaboration, and they don't. They say that they have shareable prototype links. They do. They say that they have developer handoff. They do. It is much better than Figma. They have iPad and iPhone viewing apps. Figma has as well. They say that they have a powerful native Mac app. Yes. The reason why I moved is because it was sluggish compared to Figma at the time. And now Figma seems sluggish, so maybe Sketch is better. I don't know. They have a full offline workflow that is much better than what Figma has, which Figma doesn't. In order to have like an offline file, you need to have loaded the file and then get offline and hope for the file to not reload. The open file format is a good thing for Figma users because that way Figma can open the file and transfer. The one-time license is really good. The predictable billing is really good compared to Figma, and then the documents not limited by browser memory is good, but half bad to an extent. But they used to have many things in there, which apparently they have removed, which is really good, that were absolutely false. And they were saying that they had stuff that Figma didn't have, and that was just false advertising because they didn't have anything. So it, the developer handoff is accessible from any devices, any platforms, but it's only on the browser, which is why it's accessible from everywhere. But it's also like just a handoff, so you can't really see things. The collaboration is not what they had with Sketch Picnic, which was an app potential that I don't know if it was shipped. Can I type? That that was a thing at some point. I think it's probably dead now. But basically, it gave you the ability to, yeah, this is the old screenshot of, oh, that looks like shit. What the fuck is that? Yeah, that hasn't been updated. But Picnic was basically something that will give you the ability of Figma inside of Sketch directly so that you could see multiple people in the same file at the same time. That was really interesting and really good. But again, now replaced. Yet nothing. The roadmap is not a link anymore. Anyways. Nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that Sketch is really good. Overall, it has a lot of features that are really nice. But it now going back to it, it feels weird every time. Every time I try, I just re-download it. Oh, damn it. And I just like reinstall it, retry it, relaunch it, it's just so sluggish and slow, and I don't know where anything is. That's just a pain. It's just pain. Oh, God damn. Uh, uh, I'm so old. Uh, gosh, and now I can't breathe. It'll be fine. It is going to be fine. But yeah, anyways, going back to this, because we were talking about the feed. And that person that was saying doing something in Sketch, which is really interesting. Other than that, hasn't been much. I haven't been able to do much, to be honest, other than code and doing the MRI and things. What have we seen on Pinterest? Admin administration types. Apparently there is a ton of teeny tiny logos that are coming in my feed lately that are really nice. I don't know how good they are and how usable they are, but they are pretty good. And from what I've said before, many times, don't take your inspiration from UI and UI only. Like this to me is really good. That could be a great button. That could be a great icon somewhere in the app. Just because it is a ring doesn't mean that it needs to always be a ring. You can take the patterns and transform that into something that makes more sense for your use cases. Like this to me could be a badge inside of like yeah, inside of a game achievement thing, you could have something like this. And that, if I just do this, yeah, well, that, I'm gonna do this one. Like this is basically a rectangle that has a rotation, and that's it. And then these have midpoints and reversed points. So these are going to be like such. Right? They need to be kind of more specific and whatever you want to make sure that they work together. But I think I kind of reverted. I made a mistake on this one. But yeah, that's the, you know. You know what I mean. That's a pretty simple way of doing it. Like these points just don't work together. I did. Right? Kind of, roughly, similarly. And then I guess instead of having 4, I have 2 and then 2. It's different shape processing. Instead of having like an intersect, I did a combine, which gives you different results. But it still works. Still works. You know, and you can have that with your base content ID right there. You could have that with a bit of a rounded tips if you want it to be less sharp or really keep them sharp. And that would kind of work. You can see that we have some issues in how they blend together. That makes a lot of sense. But again, it creates like something, and it's based on you just looking at stuff and seeing, oh yeah, that ring could become like a very, very good looking, I don't know, badge representation of something. You achieved something and you get that. I technically on a light background would work better than on a black background, but you know. Anyways, taking inspiration from everywhere. That's basically what I'm saying. So these rings that I'm using a ton as references for myself, to buying rings, but also for myself into simply having inspiration for shapes. And that is really cool for the loads value. This one is interesting as well. I don't know if it's useful, but the shape on its own is really nice. The output is really nice as well. So, you know, having fun with inspiration, taking inspiration from everything that can come to you. Like, this is weird. I don't know if it's practical to have a pedal slash fader slash something. But it's fun. I remember it. Haven't really heard about vibe marketing yet, so I can't say. I have heard and seen a lot of people saying that they have replaced their marketing teams with other AI stuff because it works. I think here again, I think we had something marketing and copy right there, which we had earlier. Yes, maybe. I think ad creative was something that I remember. Would they create a post for you? You send them like the base, and then it generates the rest automatically, like these things, for example. Basically just create the backgrounds, the product shots, the whatever. Yeah. I think the last one that I have, I don't think I can access that on my 1 second. Have I done that? Can I access this here? I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think it's in there. I think I'm gonna be able to share that here. Uh, in the that's a bad move. In in here, maybe I will have access to this. I changed my phone to Japanese, so now I'm kind of um, lost in what's written. Um, yeah, there was someone that shared this post, which again, I don't think it would make any sense um, anymore. Anyways, you know. Um, but that post specifically was saying or complaining about the fact that graphic designers are problem solving, and every time everything that they are doing or saying is just we are solving problem and we are problem solvers and whatever. You can read the caption. I doubt it. It's tiny. Um, but their whole thing was pretty true overall in saying, um, well, I need money, you need more money, and I'm solving the problem of you don't have the skills, and therefore you will get more money by having a better design stuff. So it kind of added a comment. I don't think it's going to be visible here. It's really tiny. It is really tiny. Let me see if I can just do that. Yeah, that's going to be faster. That was the comment that I left, which I think is going to probably replace some of my headlines on landing pages because you need money, I need money, you like the skills I have, let's work together is a really good tagline. At least to me. Like, I don't think you can. Chris, I don't think you can. I have doubts. I have doubts. I think you're making an assumption right there. I think you are making an assumption. I don't think you are. I don't think you are. I think it's just designer, which happened, you know, like that's different. But would you say the same thing here? I don't know. I don't know. Probably you would. Um, I don't know. Maybe. I don't really give a shit, to be honest. But nonetheless, that point remains. That point remains. I really think that I need money, you need money, or you need money, I need money. You like the skill I have. Let's work together is a really good timeline. I think I'm gonna use that at some point. Probably gonna change that uh, to somewhere on one of my websites. One of them. But yeah, going back to the vibe marketing, I feel like it could be good. Not necessarily these. These was like ad creative is really simple and works, and you know it makes sense. But I don't really know if there is like a better overall um, option for marketing right now, other than having someone that has the skills that are required for that. Like right now, what they need is a dev expert because that thing was weird. Um, yeah, yeah, but also if you feel attacked as a potential client by the fact that you are not self-aware that you don't have the skills that I have, I don't want to work with you. Um, you know, like if you if you're unaware about the fact that the skills that you're lacking right now are the skills that you need to hire, and that's the reason why you are hiring someone, uh, it's I don't want to work with you. Like the amount of time that I have personally hired designers, and I don't lack the skills they have, but I don't have the will to do the work itself. Um, nah. I don't know. I mean, it can work. Nonetheless, the point remains of you need someone that knows stuff, and that person is me. So I feel like it could be something like, does Fiverr still have the multi uh, lending? No, they changed. That's so sad. They had a good thing a long time ago where their landing page was basically changing on reload. So if you just reloaded the page, you had like a different vibe. You had like a different thing, and you could also change and squish the landing page message to be like more or less bullshit, more or less stuff, more or less business inquiry and all that. It was really good, but yeah, shit like this, for example. Which I like a lot. Because it kind of works. It targets a very specific audience. I do recognize that, but you know, that background is pretty cool. That could be added somewhere. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is a market for um, uh, out of spite. You probably have seen these ads or way to sell on the street, um, where you just say, well, you probably can't afford it anyway, and the person is just gonna prove you that they can by, spending the money that they didn't have. And that's kind of the same thing. Like it's an out of spite situation where, eh, like for me, it would be you lack the skills to work. Let's work together, or do it yourself and come back in 2 weeks. Like that's kind of the idea. It makes sense. Yeah. No, I will. I would never. I would never say that. Um, I think I said that before. Um, that it worked. Like I said you to one of the clients that I potentially had at the time, like we were not really working together yet. Um, they were saying that my prices were a bit high, which is the case, and I was like, well, I can send you to other people that are cheaper, but um, it's probably going to take longer than what we can do together. And and they did. They went to someone that is cheaper, and then they came back to me a month later and say, well, we missed the deadline, and we need this for next week. Can we do that? And then we did, and they were happy with the results. Just eh. Like they could have done the thing in a week or 2 weeks in the beginning by going with me in the first place, but because I recommended someone else that was good but a bit slower than me, it just yeah. Like that's the good. I mean, to me, that's the good thing. If you go somewhere else that is not me, and you're unhappy with the result, and you come back to me, I'm happy with that. If I'm too expensive for you, and I have someone that can do it for cheaper right now, that I can recommend because I know that their skills are good, and you go with them, I'm happy with that. If you don't go with my recommendation, you go with someone that is even cheaper than the one that I recommended, and then you come back. Yeah, yeah, me too. I charge for projects. I don't charge by hours because it makes no sense. It's just, I mean, we've talked about that with Denny many times, just because it's, um, if you tell me you're gonna be paid, I'm gonna do a bad number, because it makes sense to me. You're gonna be paid $100 an hour to do a logo, and I do the logo in 2 hours. You're gonna pay me $200. And if I'm paid by the hours, I'm gonna take 2 months, and you're gonna be charged the amount that it takes to 2 months of work by the hours. Yes. For a logo that took me 20 minutes to do in the first day. Yes. But that it took 2 months. Pay by the hours. Like that's the usual thing to me. It's if if you say it's gonna be hourly, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna be as capitalistic as I can. Like that's what I did in my previous company. Uh, Basically, just doing the minimum amount of work in the longest amount of time to get paid the maximum for the amount of effort that I was putting in. And it worked well, at least to me. But like right now, for example, I have a deadline in 2 weeks for one client, and it's pretty nice. Um, I think I should have something to showcase on Monday that we can have like a round of revision and then maybe decide on something. But you know, um, yeah. Usually, the thing that I do is project pricing in the first place, and then anything that is past the scope of the project is hourly billed. But that goes really fast because my hourly is 160. So, I mean, if I work one day, they pay basically the same amount of the project sometimes. Um, 1 or 2 days on top, as in extra work out of scope. So it's a deterrent. The goal. The goal is a deterrent for the hourly for me. It's just like, yeah, if we go hourly, I'm going to take longer. That's for sure, because you are not going to be a priority. And yeah. Well, I do. I do work slower because of the hourly. It just makes more sense. Like specifically because if you think of the way that hourly is billed and priced, you have to pay like any hour started is like is billed. So if you are at 1 hour and 2 minutes, you're basically billed for 2 hours with that system. So maybe 2 minutes is a bit critical, and it might be like 1 hour and 15. That's 2 hours, but you get the idea. So basically, if you extend by 15 minutes every hours, you're paid 1 more hours based on your hourly pay. So yeah, it's kind of weird. So that's why I'm recommending Toggle and Timely to track your time working on files and project and things, that you know how much time you spend. That's usually for hourly projects. And yeah, or big project. Like the only one that I'm fine with being hourly based is when we know that the project is going to take somewhere along the line of 6 to 8 months. We discount the hourly rates to like basically scope it out for the months. And the best option is to go to the subscription model for these. But it depends on the client. And Bones, no. If I hire you for 60 an hour, I need to pay 120 per hour as a French employer. So it's basically doubled. I have like, yeah, not exactly double, but almost like it's 80%. The employment tax is basically the salary that I'm giving my employee. I'm also giving it to the government at the same time. So a, a 3K salary is a 6K output of money from my pockets, whereas 3K are going to the government for anything that is insurance and all that for the employee, and the rest is going to the employee, and then the employee needs to pay their taxes on that, which is deducted from the pitch, contract, payment, rent, no, salary, yes. For foreign contractors, not really, but we'll still have some employment laws that kind of makes us spend more for the people that we're paying. Yeah. But yeah, if you're a company in France, you basically know that 3K salary is basically a 6K monthly for you as an expense. So that's why overall the salary ranges that we have in France are lower overall than what like what happens in the US, for example. Like a salary for a designer of my experience and knowledge base in the US is probably something like a 200K, 240K a year, based on where I would live if I was in the US. But in France, it's like 60, 70, maybe 80 if I'm good. Yeah. I don't know much about foreign expenses, though. I haven't really used that. But one of my previous agency had foreign devs. So, yeah. I mean, again, the regular. Oh, that's job. Sorry, my bad. Made a mistake on this one. Um, like for France, yeah, that's basically it. Um, that is France-ish, and that's the median at 197, and I would be roughly around here based on the experience. Like this one is a 2 to 4 experience to 209. So yeah. Yeah. I don't think I can. But yeah, like regular senior median is going to be 240 US based for San Francisco. So it again, it depends where you are and what you're looking for. But Idaho is 120 apparently for senior product designers, but it doesn't seem to have a ton. Also, Micron Technology, which seems to be in the same base, is 261. So, with just 7 years of experience and 3 years in the company, that's, still an option. But yes, 100%. San Francisco is special. But like United Kingdoms would be 111, which means that would be 90 in pounds, I think. Roughly, right? Yeah, 92. So, but that's the thing. And when you just go back to France, because, Like a senior with my level of 13 years of experience and 8 years at the company, you're making 55K, which is lower than my last salary by almost 20K. That it's just it really depends where you are, what you do. Like if I were to have a job as Zendesk, I would be 150. Do I want to? No. But also, you know, eh, it depends. Interesting. It depends on the company. Again, it is really viable. Like these prices and these values are most of the time kind of skewed, and they are based on the market and all that. But I do know some people that are in the same realm, not necessarily like at the same level of experience and expertise that I have. Yeah, I mean, I will work for food is pretty good. Um, if I unlock the things, um, like this is France for my level, roughly. Um, and as you can see, like the 150, 80, 60, 104, 100, like that's around 100. And basically for me, um, I would be around the 16, 15, 13 years things, which are like not that high of for friends. Again, but going back to, I don't know, Seattle. Um, yeah, like principal product designers is a bit over what my experience would be. Like 18 years is higher than what I technically have, because I have 16. And it's 336, but that's Seattle. It's different. Like I don't know in Vancouver, for example, with an N, bitch. Um, Vancouver is 100. Um, like, eh, eh. I think most of the designer I know that makes 200K, 300K a year are either in, not personally, no as in specific things. They make that amount because they are doing their regular jobs plus something else on the side, plus content creation, plus other things. And therefore they have like multiple income sources, which is the goal every time. But yeah, like for example, some of the YouTuber E that I kind of know are making sometimes up to 50 to 80K per video on YouTube, and they post 4 videos per month, even sometimes 2 videos per week. So I get it. Um, yeah, I mean, looking at salary every time is really, really bad. Um, but not a good idea. It doesn't help. It it really depends. It depends on the hiring manager that you have, the amount of negotiation you can do, the environment in which you're hiring or hired at, the clients you have can't afford what you can do, and so on. Like it's a lot of ifs. So, and yes, also if you own a house, you usually have a bit of a less payment, less thing to pay. Like the reason why I'm still unemployed after 2 years, and just being employed on my own with personal clients, which are not like sustaining my daily lives, but still not, shitting on it, is because this house is paid. It's mine with my sister, and therefore I don't have to pay rent. I just need to pay the electric bills. Not fucking expensive, but still, it's not much. So my rent is the amount that I pay for internet, the electrics, and the charges for the buildings to make sure that it's clean because I'm a landlord in there. So, you know, um, yeah, if you have the mortgage to pay, that's basically weird to me. That I really don't understand buying a house. It has never been a thing that I was wanting to do. Um, and yeah, like buying a house makes no sense to me. Not because I have one, but because it just um in the balance of spending the money on rent and spending the money on the house and then needing to rent out the house to the bank because you took on a loan. Well, this one seems better because if you want to move, you can move. This one you kind of can't, because if you still need to pay your mortgage on this one, and you move out, you need to rent this one. So there is probably a period of like 2 months where there is no one in there, where you still need to pay the mortgage. And then the people that are going to live there are going to pay the mortgage for you, technically, with potentially something on top, but you need to pay your rent on the other side. So it's not, it doesn't make any sense. At least to me. I see. Aggressive high, we'll call it. Um, Thanks a lot for stopping by. I appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Have a great weekend too. As always, see you soon. Thank you for stopping by. I think like, thank you. I think my sister, and her ex bought a house together and then they split up. That happens. And now the ex has bought back, or I think is supposed to buy back the section or portion of my sister's, like what she bought, whatever. But it makes no sense. Makes no sense. Like the in my head again. I think we've said that before. I think we've explained. It depends on where you are. But if you have a rent in France that is 1K a month, you basically have 12K a year. That's how it works. And then in the hopes that the landlord doesn't up the price of the rent, which happens sometimes. Basically, in 10 years of renting, you have spent 120K on that specific apartment house thing. And in today's day and age, where the rent is $1,000, which is like Paris, suburbs, and all that, 120K doesn't give you the ability to buy a house. So that's something. If you do that on the same rent, but in 20 years, dust time, walk on in. It's, bitch, what the fuck are you? If you have like a 240K for a house, is still not much. And so, I mean, it makes no sense. Makes no sense. Yes, kinda. I mean, again, today, specifically today, the middle part is all over the place. It's not working. It's supposed to be exactly in the center, but it just doesn't want to. But yeah, it's supposed to. It's just weird. Like today's just this side is higher than it should be. Kinda. How's everything, Dust? You have been disappearing from the face of the internet for a while, I think, for me. How's the not atom product thingy that you were working on, that you were saying that you had like a bit of a time slug thing earlier? We've been there before. Good. That is good news. That is good news. If I want to buy one room in Paris, because we can do that. We're out in Chicago. That is interesting. That is far away from the usual location. Yeah. I don't have a maximum budget, right? That's pretty neat. That is pretty neat. So these are all the houses that are currently for sale in Paris. And this is ads that I don't want to see. Bitch, get the fuck out. Thank you. So if you go around closer to where I live, right? This is 1 mil, this is 900K, this is 360K. It's at 29 square meters, which is really tiny. This is 214K. So this one, for example, based on what I said, with 1K a month for 20 years, you would be able to just buy this thing, which I think I visited some times ago. But it's at 19 square meters, which is extremely tiny. And again, if you want a house or something that is a bit more spacious, you would have to say, well, I need a minimum surface of somehow 50. I mean, please do so, yes. Do so. Would appreciate that. Yes. Yes. So you see, with that in mind, with 101 square meters, which is pretty big for Paris surfaces, but a 65 is a reasonable flat for a small family. I think 110 square meters would be better. But like, this is a 650K. So with that, over 20 years, that's basically 3K a month that you need to pay for 20 years. My guess, based on my personal condition, I will probably be dead in 20 years. So if I need to pay the bank 3K a month to repay what I have paid for this house, plus interest, which means that I would probably have to pay something for 25 years in total, I will never own the house. I will just rent it to the bank. And yeah, like it's probably what's going to happen. And so for me, from my point of view, based on the prices of houses, right now I'm looking at Paris. I recognize that this is really, really not necessarily the right place. Like if I was looking at, I don't know, Nyons, which is where I lived when I grew up, these are going to be houses for 150K or 190K. This is a 3-bedroom house for 129K. Yes, 100%. These are houses that exist, but there is nothing around there. It's dead space. Um, so yeah. So you know, like to me, that's how I see things. That's why I'm like, buying makes no sense. Renting makes more sense in terms of whatever the situation is. I understand that the rent, if you are a family with kids, again, we talked about that before, um, you like you need a plan, but still, I feel like renting, even if you have a family and kids, like you would be better off money wise by continuing to rent, mainly because the kids are with you for, at worst, 20 years and at best 16. Um, so you have to provide the house and the food and all that for, let's say, 20 years. That's the easiest thing. Um, so with Chris that has 15 kids, that delays everything. Uh, but you would, you know, uh, it's just it's still 15 in my head. But like yeah, overall, the outcome of the rent and all of that, you would save more by not buying a house and owning a house, and just renting the house when you need to be, and then move out when you can. Like for example, when I where I grew up, I we were renting the house, and then the landlord decided to get the house back, so we had to move, and we moved to the city, and then we rented the house, and then I moved, and my sister moved, and then my parents broke up, and then my mom found a house, and my dad found a house. I mean, technically, my dad didn't. He died there, but that's a different thing. But my mom basically rent a flat close by, and then she bought a house because she doesn't know how financial works. So she decided to buy a house, which I strongly uh, discouraged her to do, but she still did. It happens. And yeah, it's just like to me, if you buy a house for the kids and then the kids go out after 15 years, which is probably the time it will take you or more to pay back the house. Whereas if you just rent it a bit closer to the suburbs or something, you may be yeah, you may be better just renting. Just make more sense. And to me and to my overall ID dust of potentially having like the property price go up, I think we should have the one house per human, you know, type of thing, that you can't really buy multiple houses and then rent to some people. I do like that. Like, you need to live in one place for like 6 months a year to be considered the permanent residency. Then maybe you can have like one house for yourself here, one house for yourselves there, but no more than that. To me, that makes sense. And if you don't live in the place for more than 6 months, you need to sell the house. Someone is in need. Yeah, I don't know. And Bones, I disagree with that. If you buy a house today for 100K, in 20 years, you need to do 100K worth of renovation to make sure that it's sustaining the time. And then throughout the entirety of you living there, you are not paying 100K. Let's say you have 100K in the bank and you pay in cash and you don't have to pay a mortgage or anything. In the 20 years that it will take you to go to the 200K, you need to pay for your electrics, your gas, if you have the gas, your internet, your cleaning services, your food, your things, your whatever, sustainable stuff. So basically, in 20 years, you probably have spent 300K on top of that. 20 years, pretty fast. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, also that's the thing, Dust. But I mean, in the system of housing for everyone, the government own the building that can house people, and the people that have like, there is no single entity, single humans that decide to buy a building and then rent the place. No, it's not a company that buy the thing. It's the government that decide where things are for livings, and that's it. Not single humans. But yeah, I mean, technically, it's the same thing that I'm seeing in China, the same thing that I'm seeing in Korea as well, where there is like such massive buildings for housing that hold housing, that are meant for housing, that are owned by the government, and the rent is like nothing because it's just meant for housing. And sometimes, obviously, the buildings are not really maintained. There is not much maintenance being done, but it's still livable until something happens. And then there is a renovation that needs to happen. The person can move from their initial flat that is kind of cheap to something else. But yeah, I mean, that's and yes, you do have to pay these bills if you rent as well. But it's just like the output is not the same. Like a 1K rent in Paris plus the electric and the internet and the things might be at worst a 2K to 2.5K rent a month overall. But if you buy the house in Paris for the same surface, you end up needing to pay basically 3 times that amount per month to repay the bank if you have a loan or something. Like that example here, going back to Paris instead of where we were, and I'm saying that I need something that is, let's say 50 square meters, like it needs to be 50, exactly 50 square meters, from 50 to 50, no other questions. And I'm roughly here, this is 600K, 900K, 600K. There is this one that is kind of cheaper, but good place gonna be around here, right? This is a 50 square meters with 2 rooms for 924K. It's currently going down in prices, apparently. That's interesting. And it looks like a 3D rendering, but it is a small place, right? If I take a loan on that for 900K, I will probably have to pay back with interest and all that. Based on now, I think the lowest one are 5% or 7%. That's still a bit. Cool. Now, if I go in location, like just renting, a 50 square meters right there is 2K a month, just as a base. This one is 4.3K a month, which is impressive. I wouldn't trust that. But just by getting something, I was looking at around here, but the closest is this one, which is 1.8. If I'm spending 2K a month over 10 years, I have only spent 24 or 240K plus like rent, not rent, but like electrics and things. So maybe I spent 300K. No, I'm not adjusting for rent going up yearly because the prices in Paris specifically are locked. You can't really up the price in these departments, like specifically here, because this is the island. You can't up the price. The price is what is called encadré. So you can't up the price every year. It's like if I wanted to rent my flat here 4 years ago, 5 years ago, I would be able to put it at like 1.2K a month. Now with these things, it's only 800 tops maximum. So nonetheless, so with that, if I say it's 2K a month for rent here, over 10 years, I'm spending 240 for the flat itself, and maybe 60K for other things over 10 years. So that is still like I'm still in a good place for 10 years with a rent that is lower than what I would have to pay the bank back if I had bought like a 1 mil apartment. Makes no sense to me. So that, I mean, again, that's how I think about renting and buying houses. Just it based on a longer period, which is usually the period of the loans, which is 20 to 25 years. It's just makes no sense. Makes no sense to me. But again, you say currencies devaluing. Oh, I also have a very weird relationship with numbers and money in general. I'm not really paying attention to the value of the currency. I'm more attached with the number itself. So I think I said that before, but when I'm in Japan, paying 1,000 currency for something is normal. When I'm in France, paying 100 currency for something is normal. And, you know, like that's a, it's just different numbers, but it's just the currency that is in where I'm at. Like I don't know how things are in Korea. I don't know exactly how things in the US specifically, but what I'm seeing that the Japanese yen is 10K for eggs, maybe 10K for eggs is a bit much. 2K for eggs. That runs up to $15 in euros, but it's the value that is assigned there. So I think it's mainly how my brain is because of Japan and because of other countries that I've been at where the currency is different. Where it's just like it's a 1000x multiplier, and that's about it. Uh, like I don't need to think much more about it. It's just for these things that I need to buy it right now, it's that specific amount. And so for my Elgato prompter in Japan, it was 30 30K? Yeah, I think it was 30K. And in France, it was $400. I, I don't I don't really care. Yeah. I don't really mind, to be honest. Um, like what I remember is when we went from the franc, a very French currency, to the euro, um, we had to transform 100 francs to 15 euros. And so you had 100 of a currency, 100 units of a currency turned into 15. And something that used to cost like 10 francs was now 1 euro. So it seemed much, but technically, in terms of valuations, you were paying more. And all of like my grandmother, my dad, my mom were always calculating in their head. And it's just weird. It's just weird to me. The Big Mac index is interesting as well. But weirdly, it's different menus as well. We have things in France that you don't have in the US. Apparently the potatoes, you don't have them in the US. I mean, not you, but they are not in the US. It's interesting. Like all the things that I have in Japan, on McDonald's Japan, for the teriyaki chicken burger, the samurai burger, the kake raido, which is the bag with the spices that you shake your fries in and then that coats the fries. You don't have that here in France. It's really good, but it's not there. It's sad. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was the how's it called? The Mulan sauce that was more popular because of Rick and Morty, but all that. Nonetheless, it doesn't change the fact that nowadays a menu might be $5 when it used to be $3. Like I don't even know. I don't even know. Get me, not that. Get me, not that. That. Um, the usual one that I check is the double cheeseburger, like cheeseburger or double cheeseburger. Um, to see the prices because obviously this is the US based thing. This used to cost me, I think $1. I think when I was in school, and I think now it's 120 or 150. So yeah, it's just but that's the same thing. Like the same on type, and I fucking that's the um double cheese. I mean, this is not the double cheese burger right there. Sorry, we are looking at McDonald's. That happens. This is the Big Mac right there. That's so weird. Sorry. that that ma is in hiragana, and that ku is in katakana, which means that maku right there doesn't make sense that that ma should be in katakana in terms of reading things. You know. Um, did you get the black one? Now you are struggling with fingerprints dust. Also, 440 is impressively expensive. God damn. The blue one. You said the new. Oh, MacBook Airs. Yes. Look at that bitch. Look at that bitch. That's only in Japan. I'm kidding. Yeah, double cheese is this one. Double cheese. The double cheese is 450 yen, with the roughly because taxes and things. And that's $2.80. That's yeah. I wish these bitches were not that. No, not that. Let me get like a central one. Yeah. Get the fuck out. I just want the prices. Um, the double cheese is 520. 520. So 280 in Japan is pretty cool. It's still more expensive than what you have, so uh that is impressive. That is impressive. Um Quantum, hi, welcome. Thanks all for chatting. What is your design to interactive design workflow? I stopped working in Figma and I work in Xcode directly. I'm coding, not directly myself, but yeah, that's usually what happens. Otherwise, if I need to have like an interactive things quickly, I'm gonna do the prototype in Figma in like 6 clicks and be done with it. Um, 520 is crazy though. I'm impressed. Um, I'm impressed. It's sold out. Sorry. Yeah. As you said, Chris, this used to be on the dollar menu in the US, and now it's not. But yeah, overall, I do really think that things are not going back up, and yeah, I wish this had a translation option, but yeah, um, $3. Yeah, that's similar to Japan for reasons. Um, yeah. Nonetheless, I don't know what triggered the McDonald checks, other than the prices in different region value different things. But if you just see the numbers, right, you're paying five units and 80, like virgule, like comma, 80 for cheeseburger or double cheeseburger in France, and you are paying 450 in Japan. And if you just think about the units, well, the Japanese one is more expensive because it's based on the unit. If you go into a currency that is even worse than the Japanese yen, it's potentially going to be 1,000 unit for that specific currency. And that's how my brain think about it. I just really don't care about the value of it. It's just like that's the amount of unit that you want. Cool, good. Like my rent was 225,000 a month. You don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Um, that's the thing. I mean, to me, it's really that simple. So, devaluation of the the dollar, devaluation of the francs, euros, and all that. At the end of the day, if I need to pay 30 units for my food instead of 16, I doubled when that happens. So it's usually what happens when I'm coming back from Japan, basically. Like, I mean, technically, when I came back, anything that I'm buying now, when I'm buying food outside for lunch, I'm paying about $30. Before, I was paying about 16, 20, roughly. But right now, I'm paying 30. And it is more expensive yet, but also that's the prices. What do you want me to do? I don't really care. I still need to eat. I'm gonna eat. And yes, my bank account is gonna be emptied faster, but eh, eh, you know. Well, that's gonna be a really good thing. Sorry. Um, I'm seeing things. Um, have my landlord HOA meeting, I think next week. Um, and this one decided to put some renovation uh, of her flat in the bill, like thing that I have done and paid for myself, and she wants the rest of the landlords to pay for it. That's gonna be fun. We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time. Yeah, it's gonna be fine. Yeah, she basically decided to bring someone in from outside and say, um, no, basically I had issues with like water infiltration with my windows, so I changed my windows because, you know, that's part of my flat and I'm changing my windows. And she has the same thing, but because it's infiltration that comes from the roof and we are on the last floor, she wants the roof to be worked on and therefore at the same time just to change the window, you know, because we can. Um, uh, what is the thing that you found, Stony? Um, it's not like she's trying to make me pay again. It's mostly like she's trying to make the rest of the landlords to pay for her changes. Good. Fine. Keep the secret. Keep the secret. I'm fine with it. What the fuck is that? Hmm. Interesting. Can see that they have a very low light picture. That should be white, not gray. Crazy. Um, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yes. That makes sense. When I did the native app for Denny earlier last month, having the also the at the bottom, having the invoice tracker thing, um, it as it cursor built the whole thing with Kotlin because apparently Kotlin has a native support, so it's just a wrapper in Kotlin and not Electron, so that you basically have native level support through Kotlin Jetpack for all platforms in no time because it's meant to work on Linux with Android, but also meant to work on Windows and Mac. So maybe that's a thing for you. I don't know. I don't know. It was pretty nice, though. It was pretty nice. I do like this, though. I feel like it would be great if they had this part right there going on top of. Have a good rest of your time zone, Chris. Take care of that head. That sounds kinky. You want me to do that? And download this? And launch that? God damn it. But yeah, that's cute. That's cute. Potentially good as well. Like, I don't know. But that could be good. Ugh. That sounds kinky as well, Chris. Be careful. Be careful. You know what? If it works, Stony, that's pretty good. I don't think that's TOS friendly. I don't think that's TOS friendly. Yeah, no, overall, it's the wrong button. Overall, that's a good thing. Overall, that is a good thing. Have a good rest of your day. We'll see you soon. I need to read the fucking full document because apparently someone else is complaining. I mean, someone has been complaining about the fact that he's doing things and trying to make other people pay for no reason. And then, God damn it, that's cute. And then now another person is also complaining, which is really good. So that implies a ton of things. Well, that's fine, isn't it? Oh yeah, that happens. I forgot about that. The Nintendo Switch 2 is now released, available, and half the price in Japan. I don't know if you've seen the Duolingo post. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Dang. If you just buy the one that has Japanese only, you would pay 49,000 yen or 50K, which is about 30, what was it, $300. Or if you want the one that has more languages, you would pay 70K, and that is about 450. It's pretty impressive. I know that some people have said that it would be cheaper to buy two of the Japanese version, and based on tariffs and things that the US is currently putting in place, there will be like a 25 or 45% increase in prices for this. It's going to cost like $600, which is really cool. I like that. Limiting the reach is a good thing. Anyways, I need to pee 1 second. Goddamn. Ah. There's been a ton of tiny things happening, but also like not much. It's really sad. Um, this has been great though. That new launch from Adam for Tailwind is really good. It's really good. The mask thing is really useful, I think, for landing pages, and that will be really neat. Oh, goddamn. I'm so tired already. I didn't watch the full video just yet. I will. Not now. But it seems pretty good. The preview that we had last month was really nice as well. So, it's a good thing to integrate overall. But we'll see. And that whole thing is expensive. It looks expensive. Oh, I'm so hot. I almost turned on the AC again today. It's been more than 20 degrees. I don't want to already touch the AC. That makes no sense. But goddamn. Crazy. It is crazy. Anywho. Did you do anything, Stony, on the app? Or nothing at all? Other than trying to build native, you know. See, that's so sad. Did you hear what I said in the beginning of the stream? I don't know if you were here already. I have almost. Almost. I mean, it's not necessarily done just yet, but I have this thing which runs in the background ish and sync my progress, purchases, everything with multiple devices now, which is pretty cool. Which means that I wish I could do that and kind of show you. I kind of can't. But if I'm here, for example, and I'm saying that the characters in the center right there, like you have the one that are really bright in the center. Let's take this one and make it black. Now it's now in the same value on my iPad, which is really cool. Which is really cool. I think there are still things that are kind of broken, but it works instantly. It has like a 15 to 30 second delay-ish based on latency and calls and all that, but that's overall pretty good. It only works if you have a subscription as of right now, and it's currently failed every time that we have some think going through. It's kind of bad. I don't really understand why it just fails. And the logs are not really helpful, to be honest. Like they just say the sync cloud has failed. So other than that, I can't really know. But everything is complete. which is supposed to be good. And eh, eh. It's a good start. It's a good start. At least it works. It worked really well yesterday morning. It worked really well yesterday morning. I tried to do something else. I broke everything, and then I had to redo the whole thing again today. And now it works better. I have like more data around here. All of this is just so much for no fucking reason. And it, yes, you know. Like that fetch with verification makes more sense, so maybe I'm just gonna use that every time because it seems to work. Nonetheless, it's a good thing. It's a good start. It made me pass my cursor fast replies, which is sad. And because apparently you were not here when I talk about that, someone decided to go in the payment methods, which I can't access right now, and bought the lifetime plan by mistake. So they bought it by mistake. That's the first thing. And they also have the app doesn't work. I mean, it works, but it doesn't work. The unlock that was supposed to happen didn't unlock for some reason on their end, which is really sad. So yeah, I'm gonna have to fetch that. They said that they were okay with like getting the lifetime. Like they said that. Right there. But basically the unlock didn't work and the unlimited lives didn't work either. So apparently I need to fix that specifics in the when lifetime, which is weird because it works everywhere else. But I also wasn't really planning on anyone buying the lifetime at any point. So that might be the reason why I didn't really pay attention to that. You know, probably is one of the reasons that we don't know. We do not know. Anyways. God damn. Why is it so hot? I think it's the PC that is just so hot. That makes no sense to me. No sense to me. Oh, goddamn. Yeah, I don't think anything happened. Other than that, I don't think anything happens. We've been seeing things, again, on Jiangsu, specifically for the AI-generated images, I'd say, which are interesting. Like, they probably have access to things that we don't have access to. Probably. And, yeah, interesting. It's really cool to see, again, the stuff that are proposed. I've got something that was, I see it. Did I see it? Can I find it? I'm seeing things, as in tools, that are, again, unreleased, but going to be released at some point. And just early. Makes more sense. I can't find it, but I can find this, which is really good. What do you think that is? Everything is like live pictures, so everything kind of moves and then recenters. But I mean, to me, it's really cool. I like most of the things that they have here, as in the shower head is really cool. The bathroom is really cool. And yeah, that's the space heater at the ceiling, but in a weird ass version. And apparently based on this, which again I haven't really translated properly because I still can't speak Chinese, not yet. Um, it seems to be something that doesn't require too much installation. And just like you basically place it and then you kind of good. It needs like a conduit, but that's about it. Is to me again pretty impressive of content. Nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. It is details. Ah, goddamn! I just took a screenshot. Yeah, I think for them the seating is usually made on off concrete. Like if I'm going back to that to show you what I'm talking about and why I'm saying this. If I can. Can I? It's been like 3 days, 4 days. Like most of their constructions are gonna be things like this, which are concrete top and bottom, specifically like the newest constructions. And it's pretty impressive. Like I'm getting most of my construction content in Chinese right now, which is not good. But yeah, they are doing like a ton of things like this. Big stuff, like really concrete at the top. I guess the best one that I have seen so far is not walls related, but it's electric related. Let me see if I can find it. It's one of these. God, that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna work. One of these really useful things that you don't think about, but they have stamps for where the electrical needs to go and what type of electrical needs to be there. And so when they are defining, instead of just having to write and draw boxes, they just have these stamps in no time. I feel like this is pretty useful overall. I don't know, for construction. When I remodeled the flat of my mom, we had to go in and say, well, we need an outlet right here, an outlet right here, and so on. And so they have like different things for types of inputs, which I don't know. I like it. I like it. That's not the one I was looking for, though, but this one was really good still. I really have like so much construction content on Chinese interfaces, which is kind of weird. Kind of weird. Am I gonna find it? No, probably not, right? Because I'm looking for it, as always. When I'm looking for something, can't find it. So, potential of me finding it is low. And because I can't type it, like I can do on TikTok, for example. Be for another day, probably, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, can't find it. Ah, good job, me. Good job, me. Damn it. Well, fine. Eh. Wait. Who's live? I am such a tired at this instant. I must send you somewhere. Well, Clark is live. That's a given. Andy's live. I guess I'm gonna send you to Clark. John is live. John has been. We've rated him not so long ago. I think Clark we haven't rated him last week. We can go to John. Same thing. It's just different. I think John because it's game dev. It's a different type of content than Clark, which is front-end dev. I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Putting it to Clark. Easier for me. Easier for me. Anyways, as always, thanks a lot for being here. Appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream and you want to watch it again, it's gonna be on YouTube. For some reason, if you have questions and I'm not live, you can join the Discord to ask a question in the design help channel. That would be highly appreciated, as always. And on socials for reasons. I forgot to put a button for the Patreon, but join the Patreon if you want to get access to the Figma bootcamp, which happened to exist right now. Just the first video, the second video is dropping on Wednesday, and yeah, it's available at any tier other than the free tier for sure. And if you want to learn Japanese, Can is really good. And if you want to give me money, you can sub here, but as always, it's not necessary, and I would rather you buy where you like it. Or join the Patreon, yes. 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 Highly appreciate it. Nonetheless, enjoy the rest of your day. Eat something, drink something, be kind to each other, you know the drill, the usuals. And, Chris won. Good job. I'll see you on Monday. Bye.